Hi, I'm Dr. Prakash. I welcome you to Practical RF Design with Keysight ADS tutorial series. In this tutorial, we will be solving practical design problem faced by RF and embedded system engineers. This is tutorial series number 4, and today we're going to talk on how to design a meander dipole antenna and perform impedance matching. We're going to start our presentation by explaining how to import dipole antenna layout into ADS from Altium Designer, followed by EM simulation of the antenna and the matching components layout. Finally, we're going to learn how to do circuit simulation and impedance matching of the antenna. We will be characterizing the antenna in terms of gain, return loss, and total efficiency. This is the layout of the meander dipole antenna, and these are the matching components. For this tutorial series, we can ignore the circuit which can be seen here. First, we're going to export the Altium Designer layout into ODB++ format. In order to do that, go to File, Fabrication Output and select ODB++ files. In here, I'm just going to select the top layer and the bottom layer. The rest of it is redundant for me. Click OK. This is the ODB++ file which we have just created. It can be found under Altium project folder. The next step is to launch ADS 2021. In order to do that, double click on the ADS 2021 icon. We're going to create a new workspace for this project. In order to do that, click on Create a new workspace. We're going to name the workspace as InnoWave. Then click on Create Workspace. The workspace has been successfully created. Now we're going to import the ODB++ file. In order to do that, go to File, Import Design. Under the file type, select ODB++ directory format. Under Import File Name, click Browse. Go to the ODB++ file location and select the file. Under the option Hierarchy, select Flatten Component. The rest of the settings stays as default. Under the layer, make sure all the required layers are selected. Under the net, make sure all the required nets are selected. And under the components, make sure all the required components are selected. Click OK and OK again. ADS have given a new library name for our project. We can either edit it or leave it as it is. I'm going to leave it as it is and click OK. Here is the layer stackup of the ODB++ file. We can edit these parameters such as thickness, dielectric constant and loss tangent. I'm just going to leave it as it is and click OK. The import has been completed. The layout has been successfully imported. As a next step, I'm going to delete all the ports in the design. In order to do that, go to Port Editor, select all the ports by clicking the Shift key and press Delete key on your computer. I'm going to place the port manually and I'm going to adjust the grid setting to the finest. Now we're going to place pins for the dipole antenna. Place 2 pins for the positive and negative arms of the dipole antenna. Next, we're going to place the pins for the matching components. We have a pi matching component in the design. Now I'm going to place the ground pins for the series pad. This ground pin is supposed to be located at the bottom layer. So we're going to change the layer of the ground pins. Now we have done with the pin placement. Next, we are going to launch the RF Pro. In order to do that, go to Tools, RF Pro and click New. Click OK and click OK again. We have to save the layout in order to launch the RF Pro. RF Pro is launched. I'm going to delete the user-defined EM analysis. Drag all the pins into the pods. The pods are automatically created. We have to make sure that a positive pin in a pod is referencing to the intended negative pin. We can see that all the positive pins are connected to the intended negative pin. In 3D view, we can clearly see that all the pods are correctly assigned to the intended ground reference. After that, right click on the pods, go to all properties. Here you should edit the reference impedance of the dipole antenna to be 73 ohm instead of 50 ohm and change the feed type to TML. The rest of the pods are SMT component pods, so you're going to change it to SMT feed type. Click on Done after complete. Next, we're going to set up the simulation. The frequency we want to simulate is from 1 GHz to 4 GHz. We also want to simulate single point at 2.45 GHz because this is the center frequency of the ISM band. We're going to save fields for user defined frequency and enable far field. Momentum microwave is the simulator we're going to use and the mesh density is 50 cells per wavelength. Click Save Anyway and start the simulation. We have to wait for some time for the simulation to be completed. The EM simulation have been completed. Here's the results. Now we're going to generate sub-circuit model. In order to do that, double click on the generate sub-circuit. And close. The sub-circuit component model which we have just created is located under ODB cell view. We're going to drag this sub-circuit model into the schematic. I have already built the schematic for you. All you have to do is simulate the schematic. Before simulation, right click on the component model, go to component, choose view for simulation and select schematic full EM analysis and click OK. Let's simulate. The standalone antenna meets the performance for ISM band requirement. We able to obtain return loss of -10 to -9 dB across the frequency. We are going to impedance match this antenna to further improve the antenna performance. We have already placed a Smith chart impedance matching component onto the schematic. Double click to open the impedance matching component and make sure the frequency and the load impedance are correct. The load impedance supposed to be the impedance you can see here, impedance at the center frequency of the band. After modifying, click apply and click OK. After that, go to tool, Smith chart. You can see that all the parameters are correctly updated. Click on auto 2 element match. ADS is giving 2 element match option. I'm going to select the first option. It's a series capacitor and shunt inductor. We're going to build these components into the schematic. I have already built the schematic for you. These are the component models available from the suppliers such as AVX and also Murata. The inductor is from Murata and the capacitor is from AVX. The series capacitor value is 12.3. The closest value which we can find in the commercially available component is 12. So we use 12 instead. The inductor value is 10.7 and the closest available value which we can find from commercially available inductor is 11. So we use that. Since we are not using the exact value, optimization is an inevitable process. We have set optim and goal to optimize the return loss. Let's optimize. The optimization has met the goal. Click close and update the design. Now we're going to simulate the design. Let's plot S22. Place marker at the start and stop frequency. We can see that we have obtained excellent results as compared to before the matching for the return loss. Now we will place a marker on the center frequency of the band, which is 2.45 GHz. The impedance is very close to the 50 ohm. The next step is monitoring the gain and efficiency of the matched antenna. Double click on the far field to launch the far field monitoring results. Under the setup, results type, select gain, select the center frequency. Under the excitation type, select circuit excitation and select dataset. Browse to the location of the dataset. Select X2 for impedance matched antenna performance. This is the far field radiation pattern of the dipole antenna. The radiation pattern is omnidirectional. We can see that the peak gain is 2.69 and the total efficiency is 93% after the impedance matching. This is excellent performance for an antenna. Thank you for watching this tutorial. I hope this will be beneficial for you. See you in the next video. Thank you.